David Bazooki and his team made a whole video basically trying to expose Schlepp. They're out here saying that he's the one
harming the community
and creeping people out for using a decoy. In what world?
But it gets so much worse.
Their own chief safety officer,
the guy literally in the video talking about safety,
was caught having badges from all of the most disgusting, problematic games on the platform. And he had some of them for almost a year before those games got taken down.
Only after everyone got mad.
So they knew and did nothing. But the guy actually trying to clean up their mess,
he gets an instant ban and a cease and desist.
The priorities are so cooked.
It's actually insane.
So you are not going to believe Roblox's official response to the whole Schlepp situation.
Like the actual
Hello? Hello, can you hear me? You're muted there, Abby. Sorry, guys, we're having some technical difficulties here. I might need to, shut down my computer, hop off and shut down my computer because I did not do what I needed to try and, clear all the internet browsers and everything. I did too much research. You know how it is with me sometimes. How are you, Abby? You're muted. Gotta unmute. Unmute. Can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Hi. I'm trying. I was muted because of the baby. Hello, everybody. This should be an interesting topic today, since everyone everywhere is talking about the Epstein files. I mean, that's like the hottest topic. So I'm really wondering what they're doing in Congress right now. What are they really doing in Congress right now? It's not just a whole baby, it's a whole sick baby. So,
shit.
Did you take me out?
StreamYard has changed some fucking... Well, yeah, because I heard we're echoing. And it's things. They added some multi-aspect ratio stuff. And I hadn't had a chance to, look into this.
So we're echoing.
So we have to probably fiddle around with this to figure out what the hell they did. Okay.
Okay. Is this better?
Are we still echoing?
Better for me?
Like vertical broadcasting.
Who's skipping?
Okay, well.
Okay, they can hear me. I think you're skipping. You want to go back? You want to go back in?
We sound good.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play the
meantime.
Hi, Mousy. Okay, that sounds good. Okay. I bet everybody can hear the baby. Oh, you're
so I think what we'll do about the lag, sorry. Antediluvian saying that Abby's fine and I'm getting one frame every second or so. I'm going to give Abby a couple links to... I gave her a couple links for the starting videos. We can play those. I'll give her another one to follow up a bit longer. And then I'm going to pop off, shut down my computer, and come back. That's going to take me maybe 10 minutes or so. We'll see.
Oh,
if you wanna, sorry.
I don't know that much about Roblox.
No, I know. That's why I'm going to give you a few videos to start it off with, and you can just kind of let the videos play. And then I got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to get into. I got a whole lot of good things to talk about on this topic here. I'll give you a news article too, in case you run out of video time. But we can't do a good stream if we're having terrible stream quality. We got to do what we can to fix things on the fly. So, and I'm sorry, guys. Everything's a little chaotic today. It's gonna be tricky. I'm sorry, Abby, to be dropping the stream in your lap with the baby and everything. On top of that, it's a little bit crazy, but what can I do?
I didn't know
Bad
he was
me. I fucked up.
sick.
Yeah,
know
no,
I
there's
was
a
sick,
couple things we
baby.
didn't know until just now.
And he's
Let me
very, very
take
clingy.
care of these
Won't let me put him down. And I mean for nothing.
Yeah, babies are that way. Yeah.
So, and he won't go to anybody else for any long period of time. So,
Yeah. So if they're having a hard time, I mean, maybe you and I can hear each other all right. Maybe the glitches are working themselves out a little bit, but I don't want to keep having a bit of a conversation here between us if it's not working. If people in the chat can let us know if we're still lagging bad.
we could always postpone this one because I think this is a very interesting topic. And I wish your children were here to speak on it. That would have
That's
been
okay.
real cool.
I think my son wanted to watch this one more so than speak it. He wants to hear what I have to say on it. And I I've basically found a good way to connect the entertainment video game world here with the political world that we often talk about, as much as people want to go treating these things as entirely separate worlds that don't intersect. That would be utterly naive. Enough is that there seems to be, as far as is there an Epstein connection? Well, there definitely is, but not enough of a smoking gun kind of direct. He is his name on the Epstein list kind of thing. But when you look at all the circumstantial evidence, it's quite obvious to me that they're definitely in the same circles, if not had a successful private interaction that we don't know about. So, like his the whole thing about eugenics, right? Epstein's background with that creepy eugenics stuff. We're finding the same kind of things with a lot of these billionaires in charge of these companies. You know, the kinds of research that they're working on together. You know, this libertarian eugenics. So more on that. Let me pop off here, and I'll be back to explain what I'm trying to tease you there with a bit. Hopefully, you guys.
Lance said I have a hairy tumor growing from my arm.
Because this is what I do. I should have been more prepared doing the tech side, but I got.
It's all right. We'll figure it out.
All right, the audio is mostly okay. That's good for me. Okay. I'm gonna pop out. But then, Abby, you go ahead.
Play this. Oh, that was kind of cute. It's a Roblox, but I don't know who Schlepp is. I don't know how much you guys know about this stuff, but I have no idea who that is. I've only played Roblox once with my niece, and I couldn't figure out how to get in the car. I couldn't move the car. It was horrible. So that was the one and only time I played Roblox. So I didn't see any. She's very. Her parents are very restrictive about her on games like that. Like she can only talk to her classmates. She's not allowed to talk to anyone else on there. She's very, very good about doing what she's told. So she's kind of scary in that way. And she's a really good kid, listen to her mom. So it's not a problem for us. But I'm sure it's a problem for a lot of people who don't pay as much attention because her mom will come, just come by and make sure she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. But I'm going to play this one. It says the story of Roblox black markets. And by the time it's done, maybe he'll be back. And if I hear something that sounds interesting, I'm gonna pop back in and we can talk about it.
In Roblox to avoid low defects rates to players selling in-game items and game passes for money too, the Roblox black market has grown to one of the biggest in the gaming industry and keeps on growing to this day, with hundreds of listings on eBay and thousands of participants on Discord and Reddit servers. But how did it get this big? Like, didn't Roblox shut down the black market 2 years ago? And will this battle between Roblox and the black markets ever end? To find out, let's go back where it all started. Limited items. Assumingly. It's October 2009 and the first ever limited item is here. The green bow tie. And it was an instant hit. Limited items provided value and players started to invest in these limited items. And now with hundreds of limited items and tons of items worth a heck a lot of money, players are making tens of thousands of dollars from it. You can see that limited items became Roblox's own stock market. But just like they say, when it is good, there is always evil.
Wait, so you could buy like, were those? I wonder if those are real prices or were those like gaming prices. So I know like for you always wait till I talk to start moaning. I know like I play I used to play Candy Crush a lot, but now I play something, I forget what it's called. Doesn't really matter. But they give you the opportunity, Toon Blast. They give you the opportunity to purchase things, purchase extra things to help you along the game. And like maybe if you needed more time or more tools to get through a specific level, but that's about it. It's only like, I don't know, there's nothing more than $9.99 on there. Those prices look insane. Like they're not really selling this intangible item. Something else is actually being sold or something. I'm not so sure. And Ruby says Roblox is fine. It's just that for some reason the community is filled with child predators, crypto scams, and the like. Oh, everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Huh. So let's keep going because I'm curious to see how it devolved so quickly.
Some players started to take advantage of the demand for these rare items and sold them directly to players to avoid the low DevEx rates. You see, even if you sell an item and profit 100,000 Robux and DevEx that, you'd only get $350. But
okay, so we're talking Robux, not regular money. Okay, I wonder what the Robux to regular money ratio is, but maybe we'll find out.
On the other hand, if you sold that exact same item on the black market, you'd get around $500 to $1,000. This made traders attracted to the idea of underground trading.
Man, I wish I had some Robux for the new Dominus. My parents won't even buy me one Robux.
I heard that some players are selling their items for real money.
Wait, I got an idea.
It's around 2016 and the black market just got a lot bigger. Black market websites such as RBX Place appeared and many players took notice. It soon became one of the biggest underground marketplaces in the Roblox community. The marketplace sold limited items and Robux for way less than in the official Roblox marketplace. Then how do sellers make a profit? Well, this is how these websites work. Let's say you want to sell your limited item for 200,000 Robux. If you'd sell this item on Roblox, after all the marketplace tax and low defects rates, you would be left with $490. On the contrary, with these websites, even after marketplace tax, you'll be left with more than $600. This makes it a win-win for sellers and buyers, as buyers would save thousands of Robux and sellers would profit a lot more. It also became the perfect place for hackers to sell their limited items, which caused many problems such as poisoned items. But let's talk more about that later. These websites made underground trading way easier to sell and buy items and Robux. But the black market's expansion didn't.
I take myself off mute there. Are y'all following this? I got a little confused there. I don't know. Maybe Michael could explain it better, because I got a little confused about what they're actually selling, or they're just using it to launder money. I didn't catch it. So if anybody knows, put it in the chat, please. So let me scoot back a little bit.
Items and Robux. But the black market's expansion didn't stop there.
Hey, you, want my MM2 guns for your pets?
It's 2020 and Roblox is bigger than ever. With the pandemic and everyone locked in their rooms, the Roblox player base exploded. Games such as Adopt Me, Royal High, and Murder Mystery 2 started to blow up. All of these games were very different from one another, but they had one thing in common: tradable items. Adopt Me for its pets, Royal High for its cosmetics, and Murder Mystery for its knife and gun skins. Many people started to dream of these rare items since having these items was a symbol of coolness and wealth. But I mean, who wants to grind for hours for a stupid item that they'll forget about in 6 months? Right? So players started to realize that rather than grinding for hours on end, buying it would be much easier and faster. It's a win-win for people who grind and want money and people who are lazy or don't have time. Many of these trades took place in third-party apps such as eBay and Reddit. But one of the biggest players of them all is Discord servers. Discord servers like this one, where it's basically a one-stop shop for all games, or like this one, where it acts like a normal trading server and even has rules for no cross trading. But when you open the trading channel, you can see a lot of people offering their items for money. Even trusted traders and mods cross trade in this.
Wait, I'm so confused. These are like digital items. It's just things that you say you've accumulated from going through different levels in the game, and people are buying them just for gaming cred. Is that what I'm hearing? Like, that's very nerdy. I don't get it. Yeah, like, what are they buying and selling? Maybe he's gonna, I don't know. Okay, here we go. Really?
So-called no cross-trading server. But it wasn't just players who were using the black market. It's said that top developers and clothing designers use the black market to sell the Robux that they've earned. Due to the low defects rate and strict guidelines to be in the program, many developers and designers resort to selling their earned Robux on black market websites. Designers such as this guy sell their Robux on Reddit through game passes and group funds. Selling Robux through the black market became the perfect way to maximize profits for developers and designers. It's June 2021 and Roblox did it. After years, they finally shut down one of the biggest black market websites, RBX.place. Although there isn't much information about this shutdown, it's said that Roblox sued this website to close down. But now, let's jump back into the present. Today, the black market is bigger than ever, with new websites emerging and hundreds of listings on eBay and Discord servers. It seems like the black market keeps on growing without any signs of stopping. But how? How does the black market keep growing despite Roblox shutting down one of the biggest websites? Well, there are three big reasons for this. Firstly, Roblox is filled with games that have some kind of trading system. If you see the top 10 popular games on Roblox, most of them have tradable items, meaning that there is always going to be a demand for rare items. And unless the demand will go down, there will always be players who'll pay for these items. And not to mention, with the introduction of UGC limited items and its controversial marketplace fees and features, we can expect the demand for the use of black markets will go up. The second reason is that most cross trades are untraceable. Most underground trades are done in third-party apps and websites, so it's basically impossible to track and moderate players that cross-trade. Lastly, the never-ending number of black market websites. Despite Roblox's effort to shut down major websites and ban players, many new websites emerged, such as this gambling site where players gamble their money for limited items, or this site that is said to be a rebrand of RBX.Place and is run under new management. And many other websites still exist with hundreds of users every day. These are only a few reasons why Roblox can't beat the black market's growth. But did you know that this battle might affect normal players like you and me? For starters, there are quite a lot of scammers on the black market. If that's overvaluing in-game items on eBay or breaking promises, and many players fall into these scams. There are also many sketchy websites like these that might phish your account, but the biggest problem of them all is hackers. Many of the limited items sold on the black market are stolen items. You see, when a player gets their account hacked, the players can contact Roblox to report their stolen account and limited items. And typically, Roblox would delete that account, so many items that people buy on these websites get deleted after a time. But that doesn't stop hackers. With UGC limited items and more demand for cheap limited items in Roblox, there's no doubt that there'll be more hackers to steal and sell limited items. With Roblox's never-ending growth and popularity of
I am so confused. Okay. So if someone hacks your account, instead of them helping you in customer service by creating another account and moving the things that you purchase or own, whatever these things are, these intangible digital trinkets, I guess is what I'm going to call them. Instead of moving them to your new account, you just lose everything. And then they're vulnerable where hackers can take that inventory. Is that what they're saying? I just don't get it. Like all this for a game and intangible trinkets? Huh. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm getting some clarification. No, when the hacked person complains, the stolen items vanish. Look, Lance, if you want to buy my glasses and meet me on Robux, you probably won't be buying them. You'll probably just be scamming me out of them because you see how confused I am. I'll just be like, shut up and take my money. Oh my gosh. Yeah, after some poor bugger has bought it with real money and then they just vanish. So vanish out of thin air so the hackers aren't accumulating these deleted items. So I guess what is their purpose in hacking then? I just don't get it. Sean, that's $200 in Roblox for 1 year. That's a lot for. Here you go. That's a lot for intangible trinkets. Uh-oh. Baby's got a hold of my. Baby's throwing stuff. Baby's on the move. Uh-oh. Okay, let's get back to the.
There's no doubt that there will be more hackers to steal and sell limited items. With Roblox's never-ending growth and popularity of tradable items on the platform, it's without a doubt that Roblox will have a very tough time with its black market. But with Roblox's enlistment in the stock market and having to keep up with its reputation of safety for all ages, we can only hope that Roblox will take legal action and moderate these accounts more thoroughly. But the most important thing is that everyone watching here to be careful and never participate in any cross trades.
Unfortunately, I still don't get it, y'all. I just don't get it. I'm not a gamer either, so I don't know. Maybe I'd have to be on it to. I'm a like a tactile person, so maybe I have to play. I'd have to play on it. And I'm being saved by the bell. I'm gonna make this large. Here comes Nahilo, so maybe he'll be able to explain it better to me and. Yeah.
Hello. Hi, sorry. Is this better?
Man, you sound good to me.
Good.
I am thoroughly confused by that video that we watched. I don't understand the concept. I don't understand the point. So basically, you could buy trinkets, like digital trinkets, just little things that they built. It's not like images, right?
They make the game, and then things that you should be able to have access to in the game because you already paid for it to play the game in the first place. Then they sell you things inside the game that they could just make available for free. But by making it exclusive and withholding and making, actually the big problem is that you can't just pay for it with regular money. Like that would be you'd be able to regulate these platforms a lot better. But the whole thing is that they've allowed them to create this so-called virtual currency that's exclusive to the Roblox platform. It's not actually currency at all. It's not actually legal tender like currency is. It is simulated. It's a simulation of currency. It's just a fake version of currency. And they use it like it's real currency, right? And so it's actually very interesting as far as these concepts that I'm working on called nihilectics and the tautological autarky that I mentioned before. It functions like a tautological autarky. And the company, in order to avoid like lawsuits and stuff, they use these nihilectics, which is the inversion of the dialectical process. So when they say like they're going to create the platform as a safe space for kids, that's them inverting the dialectical process, pretending like they are actually like a good faith actor who's capable of compromise and negotiation, and standing and holding up ethical standards. And then, but that's their rhetoric, and in practice, they are the complete opposite of what they say that they are. And the Robux, the way that it functions internally, without like resisting external scrutiny and everything, it's a very sadistic, cynical, nihilistic, tautological autarky. Very fancy words, but it's kind of disgusting how real it is. Like they're just academic sounding terms, but when you look up what that means and you apply it to the real world, when you look at examples like this is what it looks like.
So people are so they love playing this game so much, and they are so into it and into the, I guess, like the aspect of, oh, look, I did the work to qualify for this particular trinket. But instead of doing the work, They
take
let
the
other people
labor.
do the work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They take the players and they use their in-game experience as labor that creates value for the company. It's crazy, but and then people will willingly trade all their time and energy and create the value for a corporation and then see none of the profit and not understand that that's what all the evil about capitalism is all about. And then they think like, oh, I'm learning how to be an entrepreneur through like a simulated currency system kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess that was the point. I was like, why would you spend all your time and money on an idea, like an idea of status? Like
Right.
what?
I saw one compelling explanation about that somewhere in my sources. I don't know if I could track it down, but basically they make a good argument about like the need for those social symbols, the social capital that we get from that. Oh, what's that?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, I was closing his
I
wipes.
see. Yeah. So it's just so yeah, kind of lost my train of thought because that. But it's where was I? What was I just saying?
You were talking about like the social
The social
the
capital.
social symbol,
Right.
yeah, social capital.
So before all the internet and everything, we had to like kind of get these things. Like if you, I guess when people buy like the fancy brand of Nikes or whatever, they buy the like the Air Jordans. I don't know. They buy like the Gucci stuff. They're those status symbols that prove their worth to their like in like socially and economically and that stuff. And but now with there's a virtual versions of these that are like very much more hollow than those originals, taking advantage of the human psychology and like the extreme pace of evolution. We haven't been able to catch up. So apparently our kids are very vulnerable to the need to feel validation and gratification from their online peers by collecting these worthless symbols, utterly worthless, right?
Well,
Value status, right?
They get it from adults.
Yeah.
Like when China was
subconsciously.
When China was telling you like all these high name brand items you're buying is the same as any other stuff we make. Like
right.
And
it's also the anarcho-capitalist mentality is kind of like a perfect storm. Like this is where evil ideas collide kind of thing. So everyone, like the Marxist leftist analysis, we've all been complaining about how the economy has become kind of untethered from the real economy. Everything's absurdly financialized. The anarcho-capitalists, the postmodernists don't really care about objective truth. They really don't see that as much of a problem. They say you're just abandoning an opportunity to make a shit ton of money by being too having morals about stuff, basically. And so what they see in this is an opportunity for money laundering. So I don't know if you got to play the like what videos you were talking about. Did you play the story of Roblox black markets? That's what you were saying. Or were you just play the first two?
No, we played the 9-minute one.
Yeah, good.
I didn't actually catch the money laundering part though.
Right. Well, this is I sent an article in case I took even longer. So if you want to open up that, it was Roblox settles content moderation class action for 10 million. So that kind of gets into like that's like not even the discussion. That's more the driver for why like my son was the one who wanted me to talk about this, right? Because he's come across this content creator called Schlep, who's like exposing pedophiles on the platform, and then Roblox is trying to ban him for exposing pedophiles. It's like, right. So that's something we're going to get to next. But I wanted to kind of point out to everyone else, besides that, there is this like currency money laundering, like libertarian and anarcho-capitalist use of this platform, and it's not so unrelated to the pedophile thing. Because when you want to talk about how are the pedophiles luring these kids, well, it wouldn't be such a surprise to find out that they're doing this using those
trinkets,
items, those status symbols to lure them in. Wherever, hey, buy this thing. get them into the economics of it, whatever. I'm going to make you a success, right? Teach you how to make money with this thing, right? And then they become their friend, and then pull them into the darker world as far as they're willing to go, right? So this is like one of those things. The more you learn about this, the more you're probably going to feel convinced. It's probably just best to say to your children, I know that Roblox looks like a lot of fun, but I really don't think no one should be allowed on there until they fix the problem, if they ever can. I don't think they can. They won't. So
this is totally off the subject, but I don't know if this is a StreamYard thing, but everybody their account name is showing up, not like their
yeah, I noticed that.
name.
That's a YouTube thing, I think.
Oh, interesting.
And it's been going on for a little while, and I feel like it might have something to do with if our channel has been flagged in some way, because it seems to only be popping up on the more radical channels that I can see. So, but maybe that's just some kind of bias that I have when I don't really know why, what it is. So, how's it going? Philford, Solidarity, Sean, Rondo, Antediluvian, and Jacqueline, if you're there. KYE, good to see you. I didn't get to say hello to everybody. Lance,
might be a good time to say like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, so since we lost a whole bunch of time, maybe we should just kind of cut to the chase, right? So maybe we'll read a bit of this article so we can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because one of the things is we got to hold Roblox accountable. We got to start legal action against them. And the thing is like, that's been there, done that. You know, the part of the problem with holding these companies accountable is people have already tried to go after them, and the attorney generals and whatnot have been protecting the corporations. So they give them a favorable ruling. It is an egregious affront to like the process of the law being just and everything in the first place, you know? So that's what I'm talking about with the nihilectic. The courts are fully complicit with all of this nihilectic behavior. You know, they're sadistic and they're cynical, and they're inverting like the legal tradition, you know, in the name of democracy, that kind of thing, right? They do all the things that contradict it. And so maybe we should scroll down a bit so we can read.
Okay.
Or I can read along. I got my own source. I can read it, and you can scroll down as I read on my end. Roblox has agreed to pay $10 million to settle a proposed class action that alleged the popular metaverse platform had deleted in-game content that users had already paid for, those trinkets, supposedly under the guise of content moderation, without offering refunds. According to court documents, the $10 million class action settlement will refund to eligible Roblox users nearly half of their alleged losses, an amount attorneys told the court far outpaces the usual recovery. They have a terrible record of actually reimbursing people who have been had their value stolen from them. Then they say that that's a good thing, that they got nearly half because they suck at giving people back their money. So fuck you, court. In initially green-lighting the deal, the court called the settlement fair, adequate, and reasonable, and therefore it is, because they get to decide what that is. Again, fuck you, courts. Who's covered by the Roblox settlement? The deal, which received preliminary approval from U.S. District Judge William Orrick on May 11, 2023. It's an old story, but I'm trying to kind of make a broader deep dive into the Roblox situation. So the deal covers all individuals in the United States who, prior to May 11th, had a Roblox account from which content on the Roblox platform was moderated or removed by Roblox. Notably excluded from the settlement are more than 300 Roblox accounts owned by individuals who, according to Roblox, spent over 80,000 Robux, equating to $1,000, on 3 categories of virtual in-game items, and are believed to be engaged in suspicious behavior, such as potential money laundering. How much can I get from the settlement? Roblox users covered by the deal will receive a share of the 10 million settlement fund. Each person's share will be based on the amount of Robux they spent on moderated items, i.e. the amount of Robux they lost due to the alleged misconduct, and will be paid in Robux, the Roblox in-game currency by default. Court documents state that those whose share of the Roblox settlement is worth more than $10 will have the option to receive their refund in cash instead of Robux. But if they're stupid enough, they're going to take their refund in the cash, the fake cash that they can only redeem the value in by giving it back to Roblox for this fucking useless virtual thing that they feel is so important that their character can have, right, in the virtual reality. So they have found a way. The courts have allowed them. This was what pissed me off. I wanted to share with you. They think that it's okay to award the settlement in this fake currency, and that creates a legal precedence that kind of blurs the line between real value and like corporately owned value. Or like, it's the Robux are owned by, like, you can only spend them in the game or whatever. Basically that means like that's future value that Roblox has yet to claim, as long as you've already bought the Robux or whatever, right? So relief for class members covered by the Roblox settlement will be automatic. That is, users will receive their share of the settlement straight to their Roblox account without needing to take any action, no proof required, right? So they make it really easy for you to not really even understand that you've been fucked over again with your so-called solution from the courts, right? So we don't necessarily need to read any more about that. That's kind of gets to that, makes that point. So any comments?
It's just, I mean, like, it's no different than, now you wait till I unmute to do that. It's no different from our money. Our money isn't backed by anything but an idea of value. So I feel like this is just the same kind of scam of the American dollar.
The fiat currency is already worth what, right? Not much in reality. But
in reality,
the problem is that the whole system, the legal system, the economic system is built on that, shared acceptance of falseness. But then there's a legal distinction between the virtual currency, the Robux or whatever. Like, the fact that it's not legal tender is what I mean is like really important. It's not a cryptocurrency. They're like making sure we're definitely not one of those. You're not allowed to buy Robux or cryptocurrency. But I can show you how they found a way to do it valuable.
But
sorry.
Thanks. Thanks.
It's like Walmart paying you knowing that you are going to just hand that money right back to them.
Yeah.
Or like the restaurant industry these days, where they just take away your free food meal benefit, and so then they know that you have to, by paying a lot of the money that you pay them, if you're there all day, you're going to need to buy food from the restaurant that you work at. So it's the neoliberal way, right?
Right.
So
you have something else you wanted me to play?
Yes. So just let me see if I can share my screen here, since things seem to be
okay.
Because I was kind of, first thing that I think about when I think about Robux is cryptocurrency. Because if it's not legally a cryptocurrency yet, I feel like in the future they're just going to turn it into one. But right now, according to the platform, you're not allowed
thinking that. It's like
right now you're not allowed to buy Robux with crypto, right? You can buy it with real money. And this website is like
real money. Real money.
These people behind this website have got to be some kind of criminals for sure, if you just like read what they're talking about. So now if you're a crypto fan, you might wonder, can I buy Robux with my crypto stash? How to pay with crypto Roblox? Short answer, yes, but not quite the way you'd expect. Here's the thing, Roblox itself doesn't accept crypto payments directly, but don't close your browser just yet if you want to know how to be a cyber criminal. There's a way to pay with crypto for your Robux without jumping through the endless KYC hoops. And it's simpler than most people realize. What these KYC hoops are is proving your identity. That kind of important legal thing to know that there's no illegal activity going on. So what do the libertarians always want? They want to be anonymous online so they can be pedophiles without you knowing who they are. Isn't that kind of, as well as the crypto bros, So, but this is where they're like, it doesn't matter if it's legal or not. We're going to find a way because we're pirates, right? So you can use credits or debit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or purchase Roblox gift cards from retail stores online. Basically, all your standard options tied to fiat currency, but cryptocurrency, no. And they feel so insulted, whatever, like affronted that they're not allowed to make their disaster. Like fiat currency is bad, but the cryptocurrency is like pouring gasoline on that fire. And these people are like, why won't you let me pour gasoline on that fire? You're so unfair. No, get away from me, right? So Roblox has not integrated Bitcoin.
Wait, hold on,
Ethereum.
Michael.
Sorry.
You gotta, anytime you're imitating somebody, you gotta do it in that voice tonight.
I gotta try that again. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can remember how I did that. But yeah.
You sounded like somebody who would say something like that would sound.
Good. I'm committed to the bit, I guess. Good.
Yes.
So, well, plenty of us want to spend the crypto we've earned or traded without converting to cash first. But if you're stuck needing to sell crypto on an exchange, go through KYC verification, wait days for funds to clear, and then buy a Roblox gift card, it's not just a hassle, it's a buzzkill. Womp womp. It's like I can't have my boner off of using my crypto anymore. That's just bullshit, you know? So let's be honest, converting crypto into something as ordinary as Roblox isn't exactly straightforward. There are a few reasons for that are no direct acceptance. They haven't built it into their checkout system yet. Traditional payment bridges require KYC. Exchanges and platforms that convert your crypto into gift cards or fiat typically require ID verification, which can be intrusive or off-putting, right? Oh, it's so off-putting having to prove that I'm not a criminal, you know? But then again, I guess like grain of salt with that is proving you're not a criminal to the court system that is run by criminals is kind of a waste of time. So that's fine. Yeah. Security and fraud concerns. Roblox, like many platforms, keeps a tight watch on financial transactions. Sure. If you know, it's just like the border thing, though. There's a tight watch on the border, but if you know the right people and you know how to get through, it's not a problem whatsoever. So crypto can look suspicious or trigger flags if not handled carefully. Crypto to fiat conversions can cost you with exchange fees, right? So what's the point of even having crypto if you have to convert it to fiat? Because the only reason is so that middlemen can charge you money, right? So it's, but anyway, the point is, so what do, right? They buy Roblox gift cards from marketplaces. Some platforms accept crypto in exchange for digital gift cards that you can redeem on Roblox, but they still have the ID verification, which is what they're really worried about, you know, so they can have their full libertarian wet dream. So these cards let you spend the crypto debit cards. These are fucking weirdo concepts. Like these cards let you spend crypto like fiat at any merchant accepting regular cards. So it's just like your card will do the work of converting it electronically into fiat, like all behind the scenes. It's a little bit scary where money is going, you know. And then you can try to find someone to swap Robux for crypto directly. Risky, sketchy, and often illegal, yeah. So, but the whole point is, this website, they function to give you these debit cards, right? So people will just kind of click this link and then they'll find a way to find their way into like probably illegal activity. And then the libertarians will just say it's not illegal, you know, it's just a gray area. So that's what I kind of wanted to show you that.
Because I mean, is it illegal to say, "Hey, I'll give you crypto in exchange for whatever, in exchange for this sword or something? I'll give you cryptocurrency." I mean, technically, that's barter and trading. Technically, unless it's
I like
illegal
Jacqueline's comment here. She's saying, "What it? Oh, I thought you were done there. Got a lag, so."
I'm done. Go ahead.
She's saying, Michael, what if you haven't got a driving license or passport that doesn't make you a criminal? I agree. This is sort of the part of the thing that I've always had a problem with is that the state forces you to have these ID pieces, and then is if we don't have these, like, people can just sort of pretend to be whoever they want, and then we're going to have really a hard time of keeping track of. It's a little bit of one of those things like lesser of two evil. Imagine a society without any ID whatsoever. I feel that would be kind of, I find in some ways that's kind of appealing, but like we wouldn't be able to change anything like that quickly, where we'd have to make our way gradually to that voluntarily, cooperatively, like peacefully, and because there's way too many people nowadays, if they had no need to prove who they are or whatever, that would just make their criminal activity so much easier.
Back in the day, you used to be able to go to the DMV and just get a driver's license, like
whatever
without
name you wanted
very
on
much proof, whatever name you wanted on it.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, we had such a horrible serial killer epidemic years ago, decades ago, because it was just too easy for them to move and slip away and not be noticed. So,
but then on the other hand, with the IDs and stuff, the way they work, they kind of categorize who you are, whether you agree with that or not. So, like, they like racialize people right away. They make you tick a box as to what category you belong to. There's only like 5 of them, right? So now you get to, whether you like it or not, you are,
reclassified.
or what, like Asian. So,
Hey, old man Barker.
How's it going? Yeah, now we're a bit on a tangent here. So let's get back to the topic here at the end. That was a good, because that's a good that demonstrates that a lot of this touches on a lot of issues, and it's hard to kind of focus in on it without bringing up these other issues at the same time. So I think maybe we should. Okay, let's go with this. Louisiana Attorney General calls Roblox a perfect place for pedophiles in a lawsuit, calling for the resignation. And then maybe I'll share with you a video about this Schlepp character who's become a hero on Roblox to these kids who don't want to be victims of a predator. Go figure. So, because really the story behind this story is like the corruption of the attorney generals. The whole thing with the Epstein thing was they couldn't actually get Epstein prosecuted until they found the right attorney general in the right district to actually arrest the guy for whatever, right? Or bring the investigation forward. So, we good here? Okay, You got any comments before I get started on this one?
No. Okay, Louisiana Attorney General. Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead. And thanks, old man Barker. He said, cute kid. He is a cutie, isn't he?
Yeah. What's up, old man Barker? Good to see you.
Okay, yeah. Let's get this party started. Louisiana Attorney General.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I didn't read the headline.
Sorry.
Perfect. Calls Roblox perfect place for pedophiles in lawsuit amid calls for CEO's resignation. Okay.
Now, see,
I'm going to Google the name of the CEO.
Yeah. My impression on this is, don't you feel like it's not going far enough? If Roblox is a perfect place for pedophiles, why are you calling for the resignation of the CEO and the continued existence of the perfect place for pedophiles? I think you should be calling for the shutting down of Roblox. But whatever, can't do that. It makes too much money for the economy, of course. Not really for the economy, for this fucking guy. Okay? Louisiana's top prosecutor is suing Roblox, accusing the platform of failing to safeguard children from online predators and referring to it as the perfect place for pedophiles. Attorney General Liz Murrill filed the suit on Thursday in Louisiana's 21st Judicial District. This was in August 2025. So accusing the Roblox Corporation of recklessly designing its platform without a robust age verification process. According to the 42-page filing, tens of millions of users can easily create accounts with false birthdays, allowing adults to pose as children and minors, bypass controls meant to protect those younger than 13. About 20% of Roblox's 82 million users are under the age of 9, according to the company's 2024-25 report. The platform offers a vast catalog of games and experiences, a significant number of which are designed by users and include real-time messaging, with a smaller portion offering voice chat for 13-plus accounts. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrow screenshot from her suit of an in-game experience called Epstein Island. The suit points to a tranche of sexually explicit in-game experiences on the platform. They include Escape to Epstein Island, referencing convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and 600 games relating to Sean Diddy Combs, who was found guilty last month on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Another experience called Public Showers, where users are encouraged to role play and relax together, had more than 580,000 visits, according to a Louisiana DOJ screenshot shared by Murrow on X. The suit alleges that a man arrested in Louisiana last month on suspicion of possessing child sexual abuse material was using the platform at the time he was taken into custody. So that's basically what it took for them to actually bring this forward, is they went to go arrest a pedo, and they found him probably like jerking off on Roblox or something. And they're like, okay, I guess we gotta maybe fucking do something about this, right? Because clearly the pedos are clearly, doing this. So, and then they have to put it in their police report or whatever, and then it makes them look bad if they don't fucking do something. I don't know, but they don't do anything anyway. So does it really make them look bad? So it's all about the narrative control, I guess. So,
what's the CEO's name? Does it say it in the article?
His
It
name,
should say maybe
I'm
under
not
the
sure.
picture. Is it under the picture?
Down, but his name, I've been looking him up today. His name is David Bazooki. The Bazooka. David Bazooki. And guess where he comes from? Okay, this is one of the.
Oh no!
Where do you think that this guy? What is his background? What do you think he might be? Like Milikowski kind of background, right? Mr. Netanyahu, who's not really Israeli or whatever. What's his background? Let's just take a little stab at that. Eastern European of Jewish descent. Would be too much of a coincidence, wouldn't it? Man running the fucking Roblox was a fucking Nazi Zionist, who he actually is. If you look into his actual background, that's who he is, right? So anyway.
Oh no!
Sorry, no, this is a bad topic to be. I gotta mind my tone with the baby around. My apologies, baby.
That baby can't hear you.
I know, but he could hear me getting a little bit heated. It's not good to be.
No, he can't. He can't hear it.
Good.
No, I have these on.
Yeah, isn't Jacqueline saying, isn't Netanyahu Polish or something? Yes, and Bazooski comes from the western region of Ukraine. Before his father was living there, or his grandfather lived there before it was Ukraine. It was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and then Poland, and then Ukraine. Very interesting history to that region. One of these days, if you ever want to get into it. A lot of anti-Semitic, Nazi, anti-communist, whatever bullshit from the Eastern Europeans. And then, true to their form, they carry it on today. But I'm kind of, whatever you call it, burying the lead or jumping the shark or whatever. I'm getting a little into the things that I want to talk about later. But when we're talking about, is this man a bad man? Should we be forcing his resignation? Yes, right? Because he is also actively perpetrating the Holodomor is a genocide narrative myth, which is where I'm saying it confirms that he's a modern day Nazi, right? Working with the people, trying to push Nazi propaganda on people. Right? Besides his activities of protecting pedophiles in his day job, right? And then on top of that, they're dabbling their fingers in the mental health research for bipolar because they've been affected in their personal family, right? So in the traditional classic eugenic form, whenever they probably want to eradicate this disease by funding research that's really not about helping these people, but about curing them. So, but I digress. So let's get back to the article. two-page filing. Tens of millions of users can easily create accounts with false birthdays. Yeah, allowing adults to pose as children. I believe I read that one. Yeah. The platform offers a vast... Yeah, I read that one too. Right, read that. Okay. He had allegedly used... They took this man into custody who was for possessing child sexual abuse while he was using Roblox. He had allegedly used voice-altering technology to mimic the sound of a young female to lure and sexually exploit minors on the platform. Attorney General of Louisiana, Lil Merle, filed a lawsuit on Thursday against the Roblox Corporation. It also accuses Roblox of unfair trade practices, negligence, and unjust enrichment, seeking a permanent order barring the company from violating Louisiana law or misrepresenting its safety features. According to the filing, the Roblox Corporation's failure to implement adequate safety features and its failure to provide notice of the danger provides the perfect place for pedophiles. But what do they tell you? It's like that permanent buffering. We're working on it, right? Don't believe them. They're not doing anything. So, in a statement released Thursday, Merle said Roblox is overrun with harmful content and child predators because it prioritizes user growth, revenue, and profits over child safety. Translate that, if you have no idea about what socialism is, what she means is Roblox is overrun with harmful content and child predators because capitalism prioritizes user growth, revenue, and profits over child safety. But let's not talk about the elephant in the room, the uncomfortable truth. Because in order to actually take care of this problem, you actually probably have to deal with the predatory nature of capitalism in and of itself that makes these people, whatever, more valuable members of society because they could be capitalists too, right? But I guess that small wrinkle of them being pedophiles or whatever is just like an image problem now, right? That they have to deal with by hiring fucking lawyers. So every parent should be aware of the clear and present danger posed to their children by Roblox so they can prevent the unthinkable from ever happening in their own home. A spokesperson for Roblox declined to comment on the allegations when pressed by NBC News, citing pending litigation. Yes, the Mott and Bailey fallacy thing that I was mentioning a few times. I hope you guys might remember this because they use it a lot, actually. So it would be controversial to talk about things citing when we're pending litigation, right? The right thing to do is to not talk about the ongoing litigation until it's finished, right? But then by saying that little controversial thing is what they're worried about, they are avoiding actually commenting on the actual conversation, the Bailey, okay? So they said the company dedicates substantial resources to help detect and prevent inappropriate content and behavior. So it dedicates substantial resources, right? But then it doesn't work, okay? So they're dedicating resources to make it look like they are preventing inappropriate content and behavior, including attempts to direct users off platform where safety standards and moderation may be less stringent than others. This is where it gets kind of funny, if considering who we've been hearing these names before with a lot of the shows that we watch. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna has launched an online petition against Roblox. I feel so much better now that Ro Khanna's on the job, accusing the platform of insufficient child safety measures. The company is facing a growing wave of lawsuits related to child safety and exploitation, including a federal filing in Texas alleging that an 8-year-old boy was sexually exploited on the platform. Roblox is also under bipartisan scrutiny, with Democratic Representative Ro Khanna launching an online petition against Roblox. He hopes to garner 1 million signatures. Louisiana State Representative Loria Schlegel, a Republican, said that Merle's lawsuit was great news. Writing on X, Roblox has been one of the worst at protecting children on its platform, and every year they fight my online child protection bills. Because the Republicans and Democrats are really going to be like the heroes to come to the rescue, right, in this situation. Any comments here?
Sorry, the baby was crying.
That's okay.
I wonder who Anthony is. Anthony Malik in the chat.
Sorry, you broke
you
up.
Say what your name is. Oh, whoever that is in the chat. But yeah, like your sarcasm
Anthony,
about
that's Cowboy Kitty.
Oh, okay. Hi, Cowboy Kitty. No, your sarcasm about what's his name? You know his name.
Ro Khanna.
I don't know why Ro Khanna. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get Rondo out of my head. Ro Khanna being on the job, like, yeah, that is true. But at least somebody's doing it.
Yeah, that's what they're wanting us to say in response to that. They're like, well, at least somebody's doing it, because that's exactly what millions of people are going to be saying when they hear that he's on it, right? At least the Democrats are doing something. Those Republicans, well, but now they get to say, oh, but hey, it's not just those Democrats. Look, we're doing it too. But who is the leader of your Republican Party? Who is what's the whole big controversy that's going on with Trump? You know, the I'm covering up the Epstein files, and now we're going to release them all of a sudden. That's the big news now. By talking about this, we're kind of not talking about what's in the news cycle that we could have talked about instead. We can kind of connect it to what's kind of going on, right? So the smaller party members and the Democrats, whatever, the ones that are not like leading right now, they're followers, whatever. They're really not in any way and any more trustworthy than the ones that we've heard all this controversy about. Whatever. Like, just because you think, oh well, Trump's the bad one, but I'm sure these whatever Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Like or what I hear a lot of. I remember hearing a lot of people about Tulsi Gabbard, right? She's got some integrity. We can trust some of these people in this death machine to do the right thing. It's like it's way too naive.
Yeah, and then a lot of the emails that they say that they released were already out there. A lot of it, just like quietly out there, and they really haven't released anything. They have 30 days to actually release, the more detailed stuff, because the stuff in the emails is like so vague. You were kind of mentioning that about. It's just kind of so vague that you don't really know who they're talking about. You can only, everybody's just conjecturing, but that's not enough to actually, take hold someone accountable for their behavior. So we're hoping like the stuff in the next 30 days would be, but of course they're going to say that they can't release it because they're, we have an investigation. So that's coming. So.
Well, and also I was looking more into the Epstein stuff than I kind of ever have, because I prefer more like the geopolitics stuff. I don't necessarily want to get into all that salacious, like sex trafficking stuff, but then it's kind of important, like especially when those two things kind of collide, right? Like there's like a whole lot of compromise that the politicians, like the intelligence agencies and whatnot, want on the politicians and stuff. So then to treat them like they're separate issues is a bit. But it's just there's so much sensationalism about the Epstein stuff. Like half the commentators are not on the left, and they have like their right wing nonsense about the Epstein stuff, and so I get tired of it, especially when like the propaganda. I feel like the CIA's tried to weaponize they can weaponize anything. So even like the Epstein narrative, they're finding a way to bother us and distract us with it, right? But it's been like it was like a 10-year investigation that they had to reopen because he had been like, there was a previous case that they tried to close and like give him a slap on the wrist for, and then because there was a journalist who wouldn't let it go, and there were these victims who wouldn't let their case go, and the right attorney general got in the office at the right time, whatever, then they reopened the case when it was about to die after 10 years, whatever. And now they have to reopen it again after they're trying to bury it again. And that's going to be the kind of thing, like if they successfully kick the can down the road, this story is more of an example of the ability of the state to suppress, what should be happening, as opposed to what we think it is. It's like a hopeful, this story is going to end in the collapse of the government, because that's what it should. This story should have collapsed the government already. But for whatever reason, like because of how utterly corrupt the deep state is, the actual state, the bureaucracy beyond the bipartisan, whatever, beyond Republican or whoever's in power, the state itself, the bureaucracy is corrupt as fuck. So that's where the libertarians have a little bit of a, oh, look, we're right. You know, you can't trust the bureaucracy. Yeah, because it's like completely corroded to this state and it needs to be destroyed. But then we're not in a historical position to just destroy the state and then not rebuild it. What we need to do is take the power of the state and put it in the hands of the working class so that we can gradually render it obsolete and have it wither away. But that's kind of sounding idealistic. So
I agree. Like, we're just so far gone at this point. Like, our government has been hijacked by the same people that by the same people I'm pretty much convinced that most people in the government are on this list in some type of way, and that's why they've been able to hijack our system the way they have. It's not just corporate greed. It's also like the embarrassment of being found on this, with these bribes and things like that. I'm pretty sure most of them have been bribed in some way or another because they have been doing something they shouldn't. I mean, if they're consenting adults, I don't care. I don't care if Trump blew Bubba. They're
right.
adults.
The problem is it's not really even just about them being consenting adults. The whole thing about him blowing Bubba is like a political favor and a blackmail wrapped into one. They don't just do that to be homosexual, even though if they were a little bit healthier psychologically, they could just go be homosexual without having to have like some kind of obsession with power tied into it, right? But they're like sadistic, masochistic psychopaths, right? And they're like involved in this power cult, right? So by him sucking off Bill Clinton, he's probably basically securing his pathway to the presidency by doing that. And that's kind of, I don't know, maybe that's incorrect to speculation, but it seems like that's the sort of favor that you're going for with that.
That's those humiliation rituals to so everybody has something on everybody. So we're gonna stay as a clique, because if one of us go down, we all go down type of situation. You know what I mean?
And I was trying to tie this Roblox CEO to, I was trying to figure out, is he a creature of the Democrats or the Republicans? I think I kind of looking into his wife. She gave like a $2 million donation to RFK Jr. for the Maha stuff. So then they end up being Republicans if RFK Jr. They're the kind of voters that when RFK Jr. endorses Trump, that means that now they endorse Trump too, right? So they're the libertarians supporting the Republicans, right? And when you're looking at the RFK Jr. stuff, that's where I'm pointing the finger at the eugenics, because they're investing in his Make America Healthy campaign, and it's not about making America healthy at all. That's a total, that's a nihilistic talking point that they have, that they're actually going to go after the vaccines or whatever. But then there's like they're not regulating the natural health supplements and stuff either. Like this is some stuff being shared in our Discord that it's a lot of people talk about, like that colloidal silver supplements and these other kinds of stuff. Like that's not actually safe for people either, from what I can tell. But a lot of people want to believe that because they're not like vaccine salesmen, that they're actually out there to help you. It's like, no, we need some serious regulation that you're not going to get from the Maha people, right? Our health discussion is impossible to have nowadays. It's ridiculous because
you're going off on a tangent.
But let me finish up this little thing and then we can move on. See what else I can pivot to here. So David Baszucki, the founder and CEO of Roblox, has faced growing calls to step down after the company's battle with so-called vigilantes. Roblox CEO and founder David Baszucki has faced calls after his company sent a cease and desist letter to a YouTuber known for exposing alleged child predators. This is what my son taught me about. I didn't know about this was going on, but it is a story worth. It's like should be national news kind of story, right? The Roblox Corporation reportedly issued a legal complaint last week to a 22-year-old content creator known as Schlep, a self-styled predator hunter who claims his investigations led to 6 arrests of individuals attempting to groom minors on the platform. A petition calling for Bazooki to fix what he's caused or resign had more than 64,000 signatures by Friday morning. Another video citing the petitions for the Roblox CEO resignation surpassed 1.3 million views on YouTube before it was probably mysteriously suppressed by YouTube. So if you want, we can maybe go to like a video showing this. Like I have an interview with this Schlep guy was doing with some conservative guy named Chris Hansen. So if you want to watch some of that. You're muted, I'm not sure. Lulbitarians, yeah.
Oh, I was saying sure. Hey, Extra Bulla. Look, Extra Bulla
Hey,
doesn't
what's up,
come up
Extra
with
Bulla? Good to see
the unless his account name and his vanity name are the same, maybe.
No, it does. Yeah, it's at Extra Bulla. Mine's the same way. If I were to be in this chat, it would be at Nilo Nostrum. It still comes up the same.
You're sending it to me? You
Yeah,
sound so
I'm getting that link
congested,
for you
poor
now.
baby.
This is a longer, like an hour-long interview. All right. So it's there. It's
Oh, Ukrainian immigrants.
This one's like an hour-long video. Yeah.
But he was born in Canada.
Parents were Ukrainian immigrants in Canada. Yeah, that's what I failed to mention. He's a Canadian. Yes, this is a Canadian, whatever. One of the things that Canada should be ashamed about is this man and what he's done to the world with Roblox there. But people want to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, people want to be pro-capitalist and say, look at the great thing he's done for millions of people, for billions of users, whatever. People love that game. Okay, you can love that game, right? But the problem is that it's harboring pedophiles, right? We shouldn't be thinking that's okay. I don't care if it's too big to fail, whatever, the greatest game of all time. If there's pedophiles on there and the owner is not doing what he's supposed to get rid of them, either shut the game down or get rid of the people who won't do their job. Goddamn Canadians. Sean, so I don't know who this Chris Hansen guy is. You know who Chris Hansen is? No, Chris Hansen, I came here for you. I just wanted to show like the right apparently on this, right? All the money, their platforms to do something about this. Well, why aren't they able to do something about it? And the sad thing too, right?
Do you know what Roblox is?
Seems to gravitate towards the right when he tries to deal with this problem, whether he knows that's a wrong thing to do or not. So, but sorry, go ahead, Abby.
Because if you don't, your children do. Roblox is a multi-level gaming platform. In a way, it is a game within a game. It's marketed towards children, sometimes as an educational experience. But our investigation that we've been conducting for a number of months now for our streaming crime network, True Blue, has shown that oftentimes it is a playground for predators seeking to exploit children. We've been working on this for some time, and we've been incredibly fortunate to come across some key characters in our documentary who are joining us today for this session. And if you've been following this on social media, you will know this next young man I'm going to introduce, Michael Schlep. Go ahead, Michael, have a seat. I like having to tell somebody to have a seat who's a good guy. Michael was a whiz kid on Roblox, 10, 11 years old, was then targeted by a predator, suffered the consequences, went on to be someone who tried to help Roblox focus on its predator problem. And how was he rewarded? By being banned. Michael is a key part of our investigation, as his attorney, Steve Vanderpoorten. Steve, come join me now, please. Steve is a lawyer based in Chicago. His firm is representing more than 500 cases of people like Schlepp. And
Uh-oh.
How do you go from being a hero? Like, how was he the one that got banned? That is crazy to me.
Exactly.
Oh my
This
God.
is something like, if you haven't heard about the Epstein thing, it's like if you haven't heard about the Schlepp thing, this guy trying to get the pedos kicked off the platform like any reasonable person would, and they decide to go after him. Why? Explain yourself, Roblox. Can you? Is it just because he's ruining your image? He's not actually just trying to defame them. He's not trying to character assassinate them. He's literally doing the hard work that police are supposed to do to expose them, and then they have to act to arrest them, whether they wanted to or not, because he brought it out to the light. But that
So
problem with that is it's a fucking private sector solution to a problem that should be dealt with by the fucking government.
So basically, he's just a PR problem that needed to be dealt with.
And that's important enough that they have the right to, because PR problems, any company shouldn't have to suffer PR problems or whatever. We have the right to, but they're stupid as fuck, right? By getting rid of him, what do? They made the PR problem a whole lot worse, especially if people want to like, share, and subscribe or whatever, right? And then actually make this stuff go viral, right? But then you got problems with us as commentators, right? Then it's more about bickering about who we want to share our content about, right? But if you're not focused on that, and we're actually trying to make waves in this political discourse, then maybe we should be just sharing stuff about this as much as possible, so that they do have to deal with things, right? But then we have to have some faith that our coordinated collective action actually has some kind of meaning. And we have that nihilism that eats away at us. That's what prevents us from actually, from the public's outrage, from being able to actually bury these people. Because if you don't believe we can do it, we can't. And that's where we're at.
Yeah, there's not much faith going around these days, unfortunately. But
well, the faith gets poured into the religions that have kind of already been exposed as hypocritical at best. So
that's true.
We're also very fortunate to be joined by a dedicated detective, Henrik Osted, from the Marion County, Florida Sheriff's Department, with whom I've been working on this very investigation. Welcome, Detective. Thank you.
Roblox excuses a violation of their TOS. That's just like how Charlie Mack got banned on Twitter just recently for trying to crowdfund for Aspen. You know, we just did that, and I don't know if you.
Who got banned?
One of the longtime supporters of the Indie News Network and a lot of the other independent channels like Shanda Masta, like the Trailer Park Pundit, and them. I don't know if you've ever come across Charlie Mack. He's on the. If you're still in that Twitter group, whatever, he would be in there, but they banned him off of Twitter for actively sharing the GoFundMe for Aspen, apparently too much, that they broke the terms of service or something. So they just actively weaponized interpretation of the terms of service to stop people from doing the right thing. It's disgusting. They have way too much power. I didn't mean to get on that.
I thought he was the free speech absolutist is banning people
the libertarians, yeah, with their free speech, you know, not in this case, right?
Crazy. Okay, here we go.
Schlepp, let's start with you. Tell me about your early experience on Roblox. Why did you enjoy interacting on the platform?
Well, Roblox, it was a advertised. It was a children's game. It was like little Legos. I thought it was a cool game, and I played for it or played the game over years, and I mean, it evolved into me like taking it seriously, learning programming a little bit, and I thought it was cool, but you know, it was pretty like crazy to see like I guess how it evolved from something innocent to something really bad.
You were actually invited to be part of a major Roblox event when you were, what, 11 years old?
Yeah, I was at a STEM event and I helped them run a booth there. I was actually at two of them, so yeah.
You were a prodigy on Roblox.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean,
And there was a series of incidents where a very well-known content creator targeted you.
yeah.
Tell me what happened.
Yeah, so I met a very popular game developer, and I thought that this guy was a innocent, person. I thought he was a totally normal person, and I looked up to him because he created a game.
He was a bit of a hero to you.
Yeah, he created a game that I really liked. I was like, oh my gosh, he's talking to me, he's interacting with me. I'm just a little kid. I didn't think anything of it. And what was created was this power dynamic where he was, oh my gosh, this crazy developer. I looked up to him and, I'm just a little kid. And it evolved into him taking advantage of me. And it went on for years. And, eventually it resulted in me making an attempt on my own life.
You attempted to take your own life, and that breaks
Yeah.
my heart. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. No child should have to go through that. But you got through it
Yes.
with the help of your mother,
Yes.
who we've met.
Yeah. And when I was in the hospital, my mom contacted Roblox about the stuff that happened to me, and they totally brushed her off. They totally just excused everything.
And I've seen the letter that they sent, the email that they sent, and it was basically call your local police department.
Yeah, pretty much. It was called a suicide hotline, which
Suicide hotline, yeah.
what is that going to do? The email consisted of my child is in the hospital over a suicide attempt because of a game developer on your platform. So to send, here's a suicide hotline, that's just ridiculous.
No action whatsoever.
No action until years later, until another female developer came forward about her experiences, and only then he finally got removed.
And Schlepp, I want to talk in a moment about your recent
I want to pause
activism
it there
and your work
to remind
on the platform.
people after years of letting him get away with it, and finally, leg in there. Sorry, we're back. After years of letting him get away with it, then they banned that guy's one account. He can just come right back with a different account. So
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean, you have to you have to do more than that.
you have to make sure he gets arrested, right, for what he
Right.
did on the platform, and then have, like, I don't know how you. This is the thing about the dystopian way to try and deal with this problem. You want to be extremely authoritarian, then with the stuff about the IDs and stuff. Then people say when you're arrested and stuff, and they ban your accounts, then we have to make it so we can track everything you do online, so that everything you try and do, you get banned on everything. And that's like how people are already thinking about how to deal with that. So we can't do that to deal with the situation. But
Well, that's not really possible at the moment because you could just make a fake account. Anybody can make an account. So unless your account is tied to like let me not say digital ID, but like your driver's license number or something. I don't know. I mean, I could say ban his IP address, but that doesn't. He could go somewhere else and play.
exactly. That's where I'm
Like-
saying the whole thing about using the hammer, the ban hammer, the censorship, or the authoritarian knee-jerk way to deal with this. It doesn't actually, like, this is the scary thing. You kind of have to give Roblox a little bit of grace in that it's actually not really a simple thing to solve.
Yeah,
it
it's
seems
not.
impossible
It would
to stop
require
this.
some type of federal legislation that would require people to be identifiable when playing these what do you call them? What kind of games are they called? Not virtual,
Online
multi-user. Yeah,
multiplayer,
multiplayer games.
massive multiplayer online game, MMOs or something like that. Yeah.
Or maybe even just relegated to, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Like kids games, I'm not sure. Because some kids will get on adult multi-user games. Their parents aren't none the wiser. I don't know the answer to it, but something
Yeah.
needs to happen.
I feel like they just have to have better like identification protocols for suspicious activity, and they have to act robustly. And the whole thing about you got the wrong guy, where then they have to have an ability to prove if you're innocent, they flagged you incorrectly. But they do have to make, like with the whole, we could probably come up with some kind of technological software solution that is like checking people's profile and activity in a way that flags suspicious activity. Like, how can you not? The reason why they're not flagging suspicious activity is because they want it to be profit-making activity. Like I'm saying about the money laundering, they could have flagged all of that as they just set it up so that anybody doing that is suspicious or whatever. But if they do that, they limit their own potential for growth. So they want to find ways to only flag the most obvious kinds of things that nobody's going to actually do because it's too obvious. So
Sean says, really, they just need to eliminate chat. So what if instead of, okay, because I don't
that's
really
the
know how
point.
these games work, but
Back
what
in
if
the day,
instead
we
of
never had this
just
problem.
eliminating chat, you give people the option to use chat, but to use it, you have to clearly verify your identity. Right? So it's an optional thing to use. So kids can't use it because they're kids.
Yeah.
Or kids could use it. They have to verify their identity too. And then you have to make sure people of a certain age can't talk to people of a different age. But can you even do that? Because you could use your niece's or nephew's ID card. Like, ugh.
But I like the idea about a lot of these games. They don't actually need this chat feature, right? You play out with millions of people online every day. You don't need to actually talk to them. I mean, some of it, like the first-person shooter games, they like to be able to talk because they can coordinate, and you would lose some of the actual fun and experience of the game, where you can't tactically organize in the game effectively because you can't communicate. But
I think some of
what
the
you
allure of
lose
these
versus what you
games.
gain, you get rid of all the pedophiles because they can't actually get their tongue in the ears of the fucking children anymore. But then the kids, now you can't play the game as much as, like, it's not as fun as it was, but it's still fun.
But
You know what I
isn't
mean?
a lot of the allure the fact that you can talk to each other while playing the game,
Meet people, make friends.
meet
Yeah, I
people,
guess.
like it's a social
I just
experiment or
think the
what have
problem is
you?
our society, our culture is extremely toxic for those kinds of things, right? Like we don't teach our kids in school necessarily to be better online and everything like that. I mean, maybe we're everything is evolving. Maybe we're getting better at that now. Different countries have different standards as far as this kind of stuff, but like with the whole anarcho-capitalist kind of culture that we have, like the fun that people are having with talking with people online is much more corrupt than it should be in a way. But maybe that's just some kind of bias of mine.
All right, shall I go back?
Yeah, sure. And let me see where we want to go to after this. I'll think about it.
First, I want to hear from your attorney. Steve, this is one of more than 500 cases your firm is handling against Roblox.
Yes, that's correct. And first and foremost, we couldn't be prouder
500
to
cases.
represent Schlep as one of our clients. But to your question, we now represent over 800, Chris, survivors with claims
800.
of sexual exploitation, grooming,
Tip of the iceberg,
extortion, and in the worst instances,
Most of the people
sexual
can
abuse
afford
and
lawyers,
sex
remember?
trafficking attributable to Roblox and to Discord, which is just a shocking number of cases in and of itself. But we're one firm, and what we're finding is that this is really the tip of the iceberg, that there are thousands of survivors like Schlep. This is a game that's been around for 20 years, and we have clients who experienced extraordinarily traumatic events back when Roblox was first launched, and we have clients who were introduced to child sex predators on Roblox as recently as this past summer. So this is endemic at Roblox.
There is a case in which you are involved where a 13-year-old girl was groomed by a predator on Roblox. He then kidnapped her from her grandmother's home in Iowa, took her to Tennessee, where she was repeatedly exploited.
It is every parent's worst nightmare what happened to one of our clients, a 13-year-old girl from Iowa, kidnapped in the middle of the night from her grandmother's home by somebody who she was introduced to in a Roblox game, sex trafficked across several states, went missing for 36 hours. The FBI got involved. Thankfully, she was able to escape and be reunited with her family. And Roblox is going to be rolling out all sorts of safety features and promoting all sorts of safety features that they're rolling out now. But what about her? And what about, the lifelong trauma that she's going to experience as a result of the horrific incidents that happened this past summer?
And we're going to talk about Roblox's side of this during the course of this conversation as well. Detective Austin and I have known each other for several months. In fact, we recently completed a predator takedown sting in Marion County, Florida, with the sheriff's office there. But before we conducted the sting with this incredible team in Marion County, we had sat down and interviewed Detective Austin about his cases in Marion County involving Roblox. And listen to this for a second. Not only did they bust a 17-year-old with at least 15 victims, and we're going to talk about that in a second.
What?
But there's another case in Marion County, in this one county in Central Florida, where a 10-year-old girl was victimized on Roblox by a man in England. So if those two cases come to our attention just in Marion County, Florida, what is happening in the rest of Florida? What is happening in the rest of the United States? What is happening in the rest of the world? Detective, tell me about this case where the 17-year-old was arrested and is now being prosecuted.
Yes,
Can we just stop for a moment to just wonder, like, 17 and you're trafficking little girls? Like, who raised you? How did that even?
That's insane. Yeah.
I mean, how are you that advanced in your understanding of the world and how it works?
Because this is the thing, right? The
children.
pedos groom other pedos. It's like a community. That's what the internet has done to the problem of pedophiles. Before the internet, I'm sure there was still such a kind of community, but the problems exploded, I think, because of this.
And this is a little bit off topic, but that I think he's 17 or 18. He raped 2 or 3 women in his parents' home, and was like choking them out till they're pass out, would wake them up, like rape them, wake them up so he could do it again, filmed it, all kind of stuff. The dude only got probation. He was facing 78 years.
There are some young kids who seem to have already become psychopaths that age, and they know that they can get away with, even if they get caught, they won't be charged as an adult. And that's where the conservatives are pushing, like Trump's trying to push that age of prosecution down. And that's a very difficult thing to determine what ethically should be done, because it's not.
No, he's trying to push
let these kids get away with that kind of crime just because they're a year younger than an adult. You know,
He's trying to, but he's also trying to push it. Actually, the dude was 18, but they tried him. I can't. Let me not say. Let me not, because I don't remember, but I do know both of his parents had like prestigious jobs at the school, like the university or something like that. They are very high connected, so that's what happened in that case. But speaking of Trump trying to put the age down, the age of consent is what he's trying to change, not the age of prosecution. So he's trying to change the age of consent to 14 years old. And I'm thinking he's doing that because then and make it retroactive, so that way there's no crimes in these Epstein files.
I think they're doing both. There's a push for whatever they can get, according to what, like the Overton window kind of thing. Because I was on one of our episodes a few months ago, I was looking into that thing about the age of consent, and then what I found by looking into it was this other thing that they're trying to do about make it so that they can prosecute 16-year-olds and 14-year-olds for crimes like this as if they were adults. And it's kind of a connected issue.
Okay. I'd have to, yeah, well, I just didn't know about that part. Okay.
Yeah, you can look into it for another time.
We have to look into it another time. All right, here we go. The 17-year-old sex trafficker.
For those of you that don't know about NCMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, provided us with some information about someone that was believed to live within my jurisdiction, that they were engaging in quite a bit of exploitive, grooming behavior with children online, extremely sexually explicit conversations.
But basically, they're grooming these kids, or this guy was grooming these kids to actually act out sexually on themselves and other children, sometimes their siblings, correct?
That was exactly what happened. There were messages where this person was directing these kids to engage in sexual activity with their siblings. Executed a search warrant on the residence of the person I believed to be the predator, and met Christian Scribbin, who is a 17-year-old who, we had quite a conversation, and it was unbelievable to see his perspective and the scope of just what one 17-year-old person can do in a short amount of time.
We listened, and it will be part of our documentary on True Blue, to his conversation. He acted like this was no big deal to you.
Yeah, in his mind, he was not an adult, so this behavior wasn't going to be treated the same way. But I mean, when we talk about, two kids engaging in a certain type of conversation, that's concerning. But when we talk about predatory behavior, intentional concealing of your age, intentional seeking out of children every day, that's a much, much different story. And it was amazing to see his mentality on it.
Hey, Chris Hansen here, and let me tell you about a game changer I stumbled across.
Mm-hmm.
And you deal with these cases all the time, and I report on them, but you have to get into the nitty-gritty of it, and it's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant. I think the most unpleasant thing is the scope, is understanding the amount of cases just being reported it's unbelievable. The amount of work that has to be put into finding these kids and getting them out of these situations, it's immense.
You've identified 15 potential victims in this case so far.
15.
Yes.
One for
How
every
much
year
more is out there?
I can't speak specifically to ongoing investigations, but every time I think that I see the scope, right? Maybe it's this much and I can't believe it. It appears to be more. It's very significant, very prevalent. Parents need to know what's going on.
Roblox has said that it is enhancing its age verification. and making it more difficult for predators to groom and exploit children.
I'd love to get the
And
details
the way
on that.
this is supposed to work is when Roblox finds evidence of predatory behavior, the transmission of inappropriate material or inappropriate conversations, it's supposed to report it to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which then refers these cases to law enforcement, like the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Is that the way this went down, basically?
Yes, in that particular case, that is the way it went down.
Dealing with Roblox, is enough being done, in your opinion, as a detective?
It's hard for me to know. I can speculate on exactly what's being done and what's not being done. I can say that when I had this particular case, I don't know if it was because of the media coverage it received or if it was for some other reason, but I did meet with Roblox over a Zoom call. I met with quite a bit of their outreach people, and we spoke about certain things that could change, things to take away from this particular case.
I'd like to know, let me see, what some of those changes are. Do you have an article on that or anything?
Not exactly. I had more of a. I wanted to get talking about this group called the Attorney General Alliance, because.
Okay, you want to share?
Right. Yeah, sure. Let me just. Because I wanted to check out this David Bazuki's like Twitter profile. I was actually kind of looking to see if he had more like support for Ukraine or Israel on his tweets or something, but he's probably a little too professional for that. So on his Twitter, it's more about like all about Roblox and stuff. But I did find this one tweet that was kind of concerning when you look into the rabbit hole a little bit. So let me blow it up a little bit, because it's all this thing about what are they doing. They're saying they're going to do something to actually deal with this, right? Commitment to online child safety. So this is David Bazuki on October 29th, 2025. This partnership with the Attorney General Alliance is a landmark step in our ongoing commitment to online child safety. More info in the release at the PR Newswire there. So Roblox joins the Attorney General Alliance as a founding partner in a new initiative where they will collaborate with lawmakers to protect children online. So sounds good in theory, except if what we've established is true, which is, it is true, it's just about proving it legally. And there's a ton of evidence, but it's about what the courts are willing to actually prosecute. So in theory, they're going to collaborate with lawmakers to protect children online. In reality, they're going to collaborate with lawmakers to protect child predators online. Okay, so then I looked into who is this Attorney General Alliance, and I have an article here. It's interestingly enough, I think this is the Daily Wire. This is in fucking Ben Shapiro. Isn't the Daily Wire Ben Shapiro's thing?
Yes.
Oh, I lost connection to my screen share audio, but you can still hear me, guys, right?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yep.
I can hear you.
Oh, there you are. I see Jacqueline's getting ready to leave here. So, yeah, sorry for the late start to our show. It kind of makes it so that you're not gonna be able to catch the whole thing, but hopefully you can catch the rest on rewind. There we go. Have a good night. Everything's getting glitchy again, so sorry. So can you see this article here?
Yes.
I was saying, yeah, the Daily Wire, from my knowledge, is Ben Shapiro's kind of thing of all things, which is kind of weird to see an article like this coming out of those people's mouths, but let's take a look at what it says. How Qatar uses an American nonprofit to hide major influence operation in the United States. The Attorney General Alliance has become a laundromat for nefarious entities working to influence American politics, critics say. So remember, Roblox guy under fire for protecting pedos. Who does he run to? The Attorney General Alliance. This is from September 14th, 2023. So when Utah's Republican Attorney General Sean Reyes was spotted in 2022 at the World Cup in Qatar, a tiny oil-rich kingdom in the Middle East, best known for its human rights abuses and financing of terrorism, his team gave an odd explanation. Qatar did pay for his trip, but it provided the funds through an American nonprofit organization, the Attorney General Alliance. The Attorney General Alliance, better known as the AGA, presents itself as a bipartisan forum for state attorneys general to collaborate with each other. But the explanation from Reyes appears to be the first public disclosure of what sources say the organization has become, a laundromat that unsavory entities such as Qatar as members. My page isn't responding. AGA has members on both sides of the aisle who have participated in its Qatar trips, including Republicans such as Utah's Reyes and former Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich, Democrats such as Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford and Hawaii Attorney General Claire Connors. So remember the Louisiana AG article we were talking about, they have a bipartisan support to go after the Roblox there. But now they have in this AGA corporation, whatever, nonprofit organization that the Roblox guy's going to, they have bipartisan support there too. So what kind of bipartisan are we talking about? So after Reyes was caught in Qatar, but disclosure forms filed for attorneys general from other states illustrate AGA's valuable role. Ford's Nevada disclosure, for example, says AGA footed the $15,000 bill for his Qatar trip, even though in reality that spending on a trip in 2020 says AGA paid, and Brnovich, who has traveled to Qatar several times, including for the World Cup, also makes no indication that Qatar covered the $1,000 to $25,000 travel costs on his disclosures. These very lavish, expensive trips to Qatar, whatever, probably some human trafficking going on there too. What is that money for? Right? A whole lot of drug use going on there with the prostitutes and whatnot. So let's not talk about any of this, right? One top aide to an attorney general who has traveled to Qatar with AGA says the nonprofit has turned itself into a laundromat. What AGA has turned itself into is a laundromat for anybody who wants to do stuff without having to disclose it, the top aide told the Daily Wire. And AGA figured that its number one thing to sell is that it can get AGs to go on foreign trips with them. AGA's pitch to potential sponsors is a window into what makes it so attractive to countries like Qatar. The group's 2021 call for sponsorships, which cost between $75,000 and $500,000, not looking for your petty bourgeois, from what I can tell. For different levels, advertises the attorneys general as the next generation of political leaders, according to a copy of the document obtained by the Daily Wire. So they're literally advertising this, be allowed to participate. This is like involved in the judicial system, and they're allowed to like buy political favors like that and fully state out in the open that they're trying to shape like the next generation of political leaders through this kind of bribery and everything. It's ridiculous. So when I was reading this, they're putting the focus on the Qatar, right? So then I went and I did a little background check on AIPAC's involvement with this AGA, and of course, AIPAC and the Attorney General Alliance definitely in bed with each other. So the whole thing, Qatar's not with Israel; they're supporting Hamas, whatever. When you look into these kinds of things, you start to see that they're all friends with each other, and that's the main thing that people need to get in their heads. Also, this is interesting too.
Qatar
as far
does
as
a lot of business with the Trump family, particularly Jared Kushner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's all closed down here. I had my let me see if I can open it up again. Because I was sometimes in my little investigations here, I kind of resort to the AI, and I go to the DeepSeek AI, which gives me different answers than if I were going to Chat GBT or whatever, right? So I was asking DeepSeek about connections between APAC and very solid relationship with them. So it gives you credible kind of information that you would be able to have access to if the Google search engine weren't suppressing it, right? That's why you have to go to the AI, because when you go into the search engine, these corporations or nonprofits have the ability to have, if you try to look into them, you're not going to be able to find information because Google has agreed to suppress it. But when I asked DeepSeek about the Attorney General Alliance cooperation with APAC, it said, of course, the relationship between the AGA and APAC is a specific and strategic partnership focused on combating anti-Semitism, of course, and enhancing legal
Blah, blah,
cooperation
blah, blah.
between the United States and Israel.
Blah, 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 blah. The usual.
And then it gives a breakdown that.
Hi, Indy, by the way.
They don't merge their overall.
You're lagging. You're lagging there.
Missions. Instead, they collaborate on specific initiatives where their interests align primarily through the AGA's for Israel engagement was launched as a formal partnership between the AGA and APAC and serves as the primary vehicle for their joint activities. And so their cooperation is multifaceted, focusing on law enforcement, legal dialogue, and education. So we all know about the police officers in the States that have been trained by the Israelis, right? So this is basically the organization facilitating that. The Attorney General's Alliance works with like everything from Mossad to the
CIA,
Justice, whatever what do you call it, Department of Justice in Israel. So yeah, the CIA in Israel and the Justice Department in Israel, whatever, and the police in Israel, they work with all of them, right? So yeah, Israel National Police and Mossad. So during these trips, U.S. officials meet with their Israeli counterparts, including the Israeli Attorney General, prosecutors, and intelligence and security agencies. Right. So this is the group that the Roblox CEO has fled to for assistance. The one that's deeply in bed with APAC and Qatar. Okay. And then the funny thing is, like I was saying, we don't have Dr. Nick Riviera in our chat, but he would be fun. He would be tripping a little bit to see
Indy's tripping.
Included on this list of noteworthy former eggs is former President Bill Clinton, Vice President Kamala Harris, John Cornyn, and Richard Blumenthal, the father of Mr. Max Blumenthal there. So as far as the suspicious, you got to look into the family members of these senators and congressmen and whatnot and what they're up to. And it's like... It's not anything that we have any smoking gun to be all like, fuck you, Max Blumenthal or whatever, but his father is definitely a shady as fuck character. And he should be, as a journalist, maybe Max needs to be putting his own father under the bus a little bit more. But why doesn't he do that?
No, he does not.
I don't mean to.
He does. He absolutely does not. Tries to shy away from. You don't want to talk about that type of thing.
So that's probably
the one who exposed the Monica Lewinsky scandal. That was Max Blumenthal.
Oh, was it?
Bill Clinton.
I didn't know about that.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Yeah, totally. I was watching today.
So here's their pictures, Mr. Richard Blumenthal.
I was watching today the speechwriter for Obama, Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. Oh, a Zionist freak. It was just I couldn't even believe the way she was trying to justify the behavior of Israel towards Palestine. The way she was twisting up the Holocaust in comparison to what was going on or what is going on in Palestine. I mean, it should be studied. The mental gymnastics she had to do to come up with that, and to think that that is something. I don't know. I don't see how some. I mean, some people listen to that and be like, "Yeah, yeah, that totally tracks." I listen to it and I'm like, this bee is out of her mind. She's insane. And it's so interesting how two people can listen to the same statements and they're so far away from how they interpret or comprehend those statements. And it's like, well, am I crazy or are they crazy? Because we can't. One of us has to be crazy.
And that's where dialectics are the only solution, as far as I can tell, because you're never gonna be able to agree to get on the same page with somebody who's like, we see the exact same video, that exact same interview, whatever, but we have so radically different understandings of what we're seeing. The only way to bridge that gap is dialectics, from what I can understand. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think dialectics is how you prove that I'm wrong about that. That's what I'm saying.
The answer is yes, Rondo. She sounded like a psychopath. Maybe I'll have to find it and pull it up for y'all one day. Maybe I could find it now. I don't know.
Yep. So I'm not sure what I was gonna go to after with that. We're getting over 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could go.
What is important.
She was at like some Jewish foundation, something.
Well, there was some insider trading activity that I found about the David Baszucki and his father, Paul Baszucki. So maybe I should briefly mention something that makes me suspicious about, because there's a whole narrative about there Ukrainian Jewish immigrants fleeing the Holocaust. They could not necessarily be evil Zionists that are in bed with the Nazis these days. But then when you look at the kinds of things, you can kind of connect the dots, even though they're being careful about not being too public about their allegiances. But Paul Baszucki's father was involved with weapons contract. Or Paul Baszucki was David Baszucki's father, the one who apparently came from Ukraine. And the company that he was involved with, let me see.
Now, for those who are just getting here, David Baszucki is the CEO of Roblox. He's
Paul Baszucki was involved. Yeah, his father was
in the background. That he's from Ukraine, but he was born in Canada.
Yeah.
And he's I guess I would say he's probably a Zionist.
He's a Zionist because he's been donating to like Israel, like research foundations in Israel and stuff. And he's been doing business with like tech startup, like gaming companies that are based in Israel and stuff. Like they have.
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to say Jewish because.
So the whole thing about you can claim to the public you're not Zionist, but with this entire Palestinian genocide controversy, if you're still willing to do business with people in Israel to this day, while they're murdering children en masse, and you think that, oh, we're making games for kids, we're innocent. So you care about kids then, right? No. So, but what I was saying is his father, Paul Baszucki, whatever, to kind of solidify the guilt, because how does he make these connections to begin with? His father was involved with a company called WSI Industries, which is like a weapons manufacturing company, or makes like the materials, like the electronics and stuff that the weapons need, kind of thing. So sorry. So it was WSI Industries, and there was G&K Services, which is like more like a uniform company, but that would be the company that does a lot of provides the uniforms to the military. And there was one other company. I gotta find the right. And Norstan Incorporated. And Norstan Incorporated was also a company involved with military contracts. So the money that his father made in order for him to be a wealthy upper middle class, somebody able to start a company like Roblox or whatever, the money was blood money, right? So
you don't say.
And then further, of course. So further entrenching it is their advocacy for the Holodomor thing. I want to just maybe find the receipt for that, because that's an important thing that people don't really know about or talk about. People can kind of be, because you're talking about like a famine that happened in the 1930s, wherever they're not sure about it, wherever they might be not wanting to be dismissive of people that died and whatnot. So here it is. Oh, I gotta share the screen. Sorry. But it does not, with the Ukraine war with Russia, whatever, what this Roblox billionaire is doing. Temerity Foundation announces major gift from the Bazooki family for HREC. The Ukrainian-Canadian Congress is pleased to share the following news release on behalf of the Temerity Foundation. Temerity is also a Ukrainian Jewish immigrant, whatever, billionaire kind of thing, and the Holodomor Research and Education Consortium. So the Temerity Foundation is pleased to announce a gift of $700,000 US from Helen and Paul Bazooki. They got this wrong. I feel like Helen is like the mother-in-law or whatever. Paul is married to Rebecca, whatever. I'm just a weird thing when you're looking at people online. They've distorted all these facts to make it so you don't really know what the truth is. But they received $700,000 US from Helen and Paul Bazooki to support the Holodomor Research and Education Consortium in promoting awareness of the famine in Ukraine from 1932 and 33, known as a Holodomor. HREC was founded in 2014 by the Temerity Foundation as a project of the Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies, University of Alberta, with the aim of fostering research, teaching, and knowledge of the Holodomor, which is Nazi propaganda. That's the problem with this. If it were not, I wouldn't even be telling you anything about this. But communists, socialists, anarchists, we have identified this narrative about the Holodomor to be Nazi propaganda. Okay, from back then that they are resurrecting today because of the war against Russia. So during the starvation of millions of Ukrainians while denying that people were dying of hunger. So for more than 50 years until its demise, the Soviet Union would deny that the Holodomor had taken place. So it's important for them to rewrite history and deny the Soviets' ability to have their say about what their interpretation of history is. So I'm just going to quickly share this WWS article.
Well, can I show you their interpretation of history?
As much as there's a problem with the Trotskyists, interestingly enough, for this Ukraine famine genocide claim, because they are anti-Stalinist, it's actually very important that they are able to report about the falsification of history in the service of war propaganda here, because they don't have the incentive to protect the Soviet Union. They're always talking shit about Stalin and the Soviet Union on this website, right? But when we're getting to the heart of the Holodomor propaganda of the Nazis, whatever, this is important to recognize. Even the Trots and the Stalinists agree that it's all bullshit, right? So on Wednesday, the German Bundestag approved without a dissenting vote, a joint motion of the governing parties, SPD, Greens, and FDP, as well as the CDU, CSU opposition, which recognizes the famine in Ukraine because Germany is becoming Nazi again as a genocide and so-called Holodomor. And interestingly enough, the far-right Alternative for Germany and the Left Party abstained from the vote. I don't really know what that was about, but the move came just a few weeks after the Bundestag amended the paragraph 130 of the Penal Code on the incitement of the people. Anyone who publicly or in an assembly condones, denies, or grossly trivializes genocide, crimes against humanity, or war crimes now faces up to 3 years in prison. So crazy Nazi Germany, modern day crazy Nazi Germany, is going to arrest people for denying the truth, like denying this propaganda or whatever, and saying like you guys are lying, that's not true, so you're going to get arrested for that. But they are actively persecuting people who try and say, hey, Palestine, whatever, your support for Israel is support for a genocidal regime committing a genocide in real time. And now they're going to arrest people for talking about something that happened in the 30s. So just for people need to know that how fucked up that all is.
People are
and
trying
that
to
the
question
Roblox people are donating money.
People are questioning like
Go ahead.
people are questioning like the actual numbers and they're legitimate like questions to be asked. You can't fault someone for trying to like understand the truth about the historical record.
Right.
So the fact that
it's really hard.
that you're trying to the fact that they are trying to like criminalize you for it basically lets you know that you're on to something. If you ask me,
definitely.
So if you want to, I wanted to let you hear an interpretation of the historical record from this lunatic. Her name is Sarah Howitz, the writer for the writer for the Obamas.
You're a bit underwater, it sounds like.
Sarah, you get to represent the largest diaspora Jewish community in the world. What are your thoughts?
So, I think that since October 7th, but really before then, there have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel. And I think that is especially true of young people. So we are now wrestling with a new, I think, generational divide here. And I think that's particularly true in that social media is now our source of media. And this, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was pretty mainstream. It generally didn't express extreme anti-Israel views. You had to go to a pretty weird bookstore to find global media and fringe media. But today, we have social media, which is a global medium. It is shaped, its algorithms are shaped by billions of people worldwide who don't really love Jews. And so while in the 1990s, a young person probably wasn't going to find Al Jazeera or someone like Nick Fuentes, today those media outlets find them. They find them on their phones. It's also
how she put Al Jazeera and Nick Fuentes in the same category.
Well, it is ironic because Al Jazeera poses as such a independent kind of, but Al Jazeera is his Cutter's media mouthpiece or whatever, and they're so much full of shit too. But they use like the Palestinian genocide as like their way to gain credibility because they're on the right side on that particular issue. But when you analyze most of their content, they're just like bourgeois media from the East. And
right, okay,
people don't know that.
They're
so
central.
It is kind of interesting that putting them in the same box as Nick Fuentes isn't that far-fetched, but she is full of shit about which like her juxtaposition there. She does not have a left-wing analysis about them at all, right?
This increasingly post-literate media, less and less text, more and more videos. So you have TikTok just smashing our young people's brains all day long with video of carnage in Gaza. And this is why so many of us can't have a sane conversation with younger Jews, because anything that we try to say to them, they are hearing it through this wall of carnage. So I want to give data and information and facts and arguments, and they are just seeing in their minds carnage, and I sound obscene.
That carnage is data and facts.
She sounds obscene because she wants to be able to write it the way that she sees it. You read it without any visuals. So all you have to do is absorb the information she's telling you. Just read the data I'm giving you and go sit down and shut the fuck up. Okay? Don't worry about the pictures, the images.
They don't give us data. They give us like misinformation, like literal just fabricated data. And then they tell you whatever, what's wrong with you? You're not listening to me? How dare you? We give them real data as much as we can. The reason why we can't give the proper body count is because you won't let them actually count the bodies because you won't stop killing them. That's some truth, whether you got a data point on it or not, right?
She gets worse.
I can believe it. Yeah.
And, I think, unfortunately, the very smart, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education, in this new media environment, I think that is beginning to break down a little bit. Because, Holocaust education is absolutely essential. But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews. And they think, oh, anti-Semitism is like anti-Black racism, right? Powerful white people against powerless Black people.
The Nazis weren't huge and strong. They just had weapons.
And meth.
Like, what?
They had superhuman strength, but they destroyed in their mind while they're at it, and then quickly became very weak because of the meth. But yeah.
I mean, she tries to equate that with. Okay, I'm just gonna let her say it. But remember that she says that the big, strong Nazis were targeting the emaciated Jews, so the oppressors targeting. Let me go back a little bit.
Doing her best to make a massive black and white fallacy about this. It's all just a black and white picture, no nuance whatsoever.
Yes.
Because, Holocaust education is absolutely essential. But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews. And they think, oh, anti-Semitism is like anti-Black racism, right? Powerful white people against powerless Black people. So when on TikTok all day long they see powerful Israelis hurting weak, skinny Palestinians, it's not surprising that they think, oh, I know, the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight Israel. You fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people.
Girl, the weak Palestinians because you're starving them? Is that why they're weak?
The Israelis wearing diapers, the big, strong Israelis, who can't actually successfully accomplish their genocide. I'm one of the things we should have talked about today if we hadn't been covering this was the UN Security Council adopted the U.S. resolution on Trump's Gaza plan, which is the most horrendous bullshit. The UN we've already kind of torn them apart, rightly so, enough times, but they have completely delegitimized themselves with what they just fucking did. Okay. And Russia and China too abstained instead of vetoed. With the U.S. in them, and they've been using the veto to prevent the genocide from stopping. Russia and China have been spineless as usual, okay? And the resolution they just passed, they're basically greenlighting Trump's plan to turn Gaza into a beach resort eventually, or whatever. They're gonna let the Israelis who committed the genocide, decide who the foreign troops are gonna come to peacekeep and stuff, and they're gonna let the Israelis stay there and continue occupying them for an undisclosed amount of time. It's completely insane.
I haven't seen that yet.
We're gonna have to cover that next time or something. But what she's just saying right here, whatever, I
think she's almost done.
Yeah, no,
with this foolishness. Let me see.
That's not how the Holocaust happened, right? We all know that. We know that it happened because the Germans insisted that the Jews, 1% of the population, were responsible for all their problems, just like people insist that Israel, the size of New Jersey, is responsible for all the world's problems today. It's not really what you take away from Holocaust education. You take away the images of power.
She's master propagandist with that shit.
You hear that, right?
That is clever, I guess. I have to give him that. Israel's just the size of New Jersey or whatever. Yeah. How could it possibly be so responsible for all that? Washington, D.C. is not that big either. But they got a huge imprint on the fucking world affairs, don't they? The Vatican, not that big, is it? London.
By way of yes. Yes.
So fucking miss me with that shit, right?
Yes, that was the most. Well, she said a lot of egregious shit, but that was insulting our intelligence, to the highest level, right there.
But it works because how many people don't even need to know the basic facts, and that's how the average normie or whatever, you're not exactly helping anybody by feeling like you have the right not to know anything, right? You're fucking us all over with that. So appreciate those of us who care enough to learn enough about something to know what side to be on, right?
Yep, she's almost done.
But that's not really what you take away from Holocaust education. You take away the images of power, powerless. And you also don't really learn about Islamist anti-Semitism and Soviet anti-Zionism, which is so much of what I'm seeing, especially on campus with young people today. And I think that zooming back right now, I think American
Soviets
Jews
were a
are
big
kind
reason
of
how
wrestling
Israel was
with
allowed to
a
exist in
category
the
that our
first place.
ancestors in Europe made 250 years ago.
Uh-oh. She's acting like Zionism is anti-Zionism is a bad thing. Like what?
Yeah,
Girl,
the Soviet
wait a
Union did
minute.
turn anti-Zionist in their later stages, but that was after they also turned away from kind of like the socialism in the later parts of the Soviet Union, right? With the Gorbachev era and stuff, whatever they like the later part of the Soviet Union is not the best part, right? But then at least they made the right turn into anti-Zionism, right? That's one of my main critiques of Stalin and the Stalin era was that they should have recognized then that they were allowing colonial policy to continue, but they didn't seem to care. So that's one of the things that kind of delegitimizes their Marxism in a way for me.
So, like the fact that she said that, okay, so everything you said before this makes sense because you're a Zionist psychopath, obviously. Like, you should be denouncing Zionism. Girl, what's wrong with you?
It's not hard. You just
It's
have
not
to.
hard.
As we transition to modern nation states.
Yeah, you just have to have some balls.
A little bit of integrity.
A little bit of integrity.
And they wanted to get secular jobs, go to secular universities. They kind of had to reimagine Judaism to fit in, right? You couldn't just be a Jew. You needed to be like a French person of the Jewish persuasion, a German of the Jewish faith. So we kind of reimagined Judaism as a Protestant-style religion, which, look, it worked really well for us, 250 years, very successful. The problem is we're not just a religion, right? We can all reject every aspect of Jewish religion. We're still Jews, nor are we a race or an ethnicity. Jews are all different races and ethnicities. We are a nation, civilization, tribe,
Your fellow
peoplehood.
Zionists would disagree
But most
with
of all,
you.
we're a family. And so if you are a young person raised in America who thinks Judaism is a Protestant-style religion, then the 7 million Jews in Israel are merely your co-religionists. So like, if my co-religionists, I look at them, and if they're not practicing my religion of social justice and certain prophetic values, then what do I have to do with them? It would be like telling a mainline, very progressive Protestant in Berkeley, California, you have to care about that Pentecostal in Brazil.
So why do Jews like they claim that they're Jewish, but they're like, but I'm a secular Jew. What that Judaism is a religion. It's not an ethnicity. So what's secular about you claiming a religion? Like you can't. That's an oxymoron. I'm a secular Jew.
That's one of those things
that makes no sense.
It depends how you answer. It depends on what you believe about the racial whatever aspect of Jewishness or whatever. So I feel like you can't, if you think that Judaism is a religion and not an ethnicity, then you have to answer that question as a secular Jew is an oxymoron. It doesn't actually make any sense whatsoever. But if you think that Judaism is not really as much a religion so much as it is an ethnicity, then the idea of a secular Jew has a little bit more credibility. But
if you think of it,
mockery of the religious aspect of Judaism,
but if you think of it as an ethnicity, then how can you explain the indigenous Jews? Because it's definitely not these people. So,
but when you
can't
recognize
do both, like none of it makes sense.
They have tensions with the indigenous Jews that were historically had a perfectly healthy relationship with the Palestinians. They didn't really even need the Israeli state to live in Palestine as indigenous Jews. And when the Zionists came, they prosecuted the Mizrahi population that was in the Middle East that were Jewish because they weren't Ashkenazi, they weren't colonial enough with their Judaism.
Right. That's why they call them Jewish. Because it's the ish.
Mm-hmm.
It is the ish that matters in this situation. Like that's why they can't that's why doing their DNA is illegal in Israel, because then it would prove that you are not who you say you are.
Yeah,
Imposters.
and somehow we hadn't mentioned, but before the stream's over, we might as well say, like, by the way, when we're talking about this, the Roblox CEO being a pedophile, and is there an Epstein connection, and he is Ukrainian-born, like Jewish descent, supporter of Israel and Ukraine. Guess what? Israel is the world's capital for harboring pedophiles. Just in case that little fact doesn't belong in this conversation.
And Ukraine for harboring Nazis. So
right.
So do with that what you will. All right, this baby is going to wake up soon.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll see. I think that's probably about time for a wrap. I don't know if we got a closing video or something, but
yeah. I didn't pull up one. I could
maybe
let
we could
her
just
ride.
Let her ride a bit then, sure.
I could pull up something. I do have some really cool videos and stuff, but I guess it'll take too long. But I'll let her ride. I'd hate to just.
I didn't get to read.
I'd hate to leave it off on her though.
I was wanting to read an article from the Financial Times of all places called "The Irresistible Rise of Libertarian Eugenics," but it's not really important. I'll just put it in the Discord. Anybody wants to read it, you do it in your own time. But if even the Financial Times is sounding alarm bells about libertarian eugenics, we should pay attention, I think. Oh, yeah. And Sergey Brin, Roblox, David Pazuki, and Kent Dotton of Keystone Capital commit $150 million to fight bipolar disorder. That was kind of the Peter Thiel kind of Epstein eugenics vision of future society. That was, I'll put that article in too. That one's from Forbes or whatever, right? So just to show you what kind of
like a very interesting character, because he can like you ask him a complex question, he has a very high vocabulary. He can articulate the answer very well. You ask him something about like a morality type of question, or he just starts stuttering.
Who's that?
He can't get a word out. Peter Thiel.
Oh, yeah.
It's very strange.
So I haven't been able to put in enough research into seeing if David Pazuki and Peter Thiel have business ties together, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They at least have the same kind of interests, and like maybe friends of the friends. Actually, I do have a brief video we could probably close out on about that, because maybe if I hope I still do. Ah, damn, I might have lost it. But you go ahead and talk while I take a look or whatever.
Okay.
Because it was just a really quick thing about people who know people, like the 6 degrees of separation. And it's like David Pazuki knows Mr. Beast, knows some other guy who knows Bill Gates, who knows Epstein, right? Or Bill Clinton, who knows Epstein. So that might be a good closer.
I mean, didn't they have they just had that dinner and everybody was there. Bill Gates, President, I forget his name, how to pronounce it properly. I think Mark Zuckerberg was there. Peter Thiel. Somebody Elon Musk was there. I think their whole falling out was orchestrated and fake. You know, hindsight's 2020. But I think it was.
Sorry, what was that? Who's falling out was orchestrated? I was just trying to.
Elon Musk and Trump.
I found it or whatever, so that's why I stopped. Yeah, definitely manufactured completely. I agree. Here we go. Put it in the private there.
I think he just came to blow up enough, as much as he could in as short a time span as he could, and then he had to go see about his businesses because he was he was losing so much money. It was never.
Yep. If only we knew what they were actually talking about behind closed doors, then we would be fully confirmed in our suspicions that they're just doing
Laughing
like
at us.
the WWE politics,
Mhm. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out with us once
Yeah, I know
again.
it's a long one. Sorry about the tech issues. I'm gonna probably just buy a new computer. I'm just trying to wait for Christmas to get by to make sure I got enough for presents and everything. But
Who's it?
I can't stand this.
Who is he? The troglodyte in a wrinkled $10,000 suit. Which one? Which one, Rondo? All right. Yes. Love you too, Sean.
Hey, Andy, thanks for popping in. Hope your kids are fully aware of the dangers of Roblox. I know my kids are getting there, but we gotta get them doing maybe better things with their time, their free time. See what we can do.
Maybe the Lego robotics.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the Nazis seem to own the kids' company stuff. I don't get it, right? Like Lego, the owner, the Swedish guy, whatever, who owns that, problems with him too. Guy who owns the
Can't
Minecraft,
get away.
a Nazi. So that's what I'm saying. When you look into this, you get really almost nihilist about like, oh, there's no fucking hope. We're
There's
cooked.
nowhere to run.
We're so fucked. Right? We let them get way too much control. This is why I have a problem with like the boomers and stuff. Like, how could you not fight them on this shit? Now it's so much harder, but we can't despair. We have to beat them, because otherwise we just let the pedals have the kids. We're too weak to stop them. Oh no, fuck that.
I think they had a lot going on in their time, but they didn't keep going. They got complacent and tired. And I guess I could see that if you spending all this time trying to the civil rights had to be exhausting. Had to be pretty exhausting.
Same time with the civil rights movement, like the Cold War just sapped all the political, ideological motivation out of people, right? I could care less about ideology when for 50 years the whole world was on the brink of extermination, right?
And then the war on drugs and that targeted the very people that would be the ones that would be fighting, that would continue fighting. So I'm sure they just wore them down.
It's hard to motivate young people these days. Hey, you want to join our group that's historically been the most prosecuted for political assassination in the history of political groups? Come join us, whatever. You'll probably survive, I think. Not a good selling point for communists, whatever, but can't let them get away with murdering us to death or whatever. That's not beating us. That's not beating our economic system, like proving that yours is better than ours, whatever. That's just murdering the competition. That's not fucking fair. Anyway.
Yeah, Indy, don't throw away any of the manuals to make all the things. Because Legos, they do hold their value for sure.
Yeah, I do appreciate my Legos. It was always fun, So it is kind of important. It's like the musicians, right? Separating the music from the musician. You can do that with the Legos and the corporations.
I don't know.
To a degree. You can't close your eyes to this stuff too much. So
like once you know, like then you know. You can't unsee it.
I don't.
Right.
I prefer trying to buy more indie gamer company kind of. Try not to use Amazon kind of, but it's hard because what the kids are exposed to as far as adverts, they want what everybody else wants, which is the corporate brand name stuff. So.
Oh, Indy, smart kid. Yeah, which is corporate brand name stuff, or should we say Roblox intangible digital images, same thing.
Yeah.
You just
I would at least
we just
yeah,
put
I
an
would
arbitrary value on it, and now it's
I would much rather my kids have like sets of well-preserved Lego boxes with every piece instead of a very well caricatured online profile with all the digital assets version of the Lego box.
Okay, well, I
Anyways,
think that's all. I'm gonna go tend to this little rug rat here. You look cute.
yeah, thanks for doing for holding up the stream and the baby with two hands.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we will see you next time. And until then, keep your sanity, folks. Keep your sanity. And yes, stay amazing, stay loving, stay hopeful.
Yeah.
And stay informed.
Au revoir, tout le monde. Merci beaucoup.
We're gonna have to work on that Canadian French. It sounded a little southern.
I've gotten a little angloid with my French accent. Au revoir, tout le monde. Merci beaucoup.
Oh yes, there we go. I knew you had it in you.
Take care.